Hey, what's going on, people? My name is Terrell Andretti, and I'm the Narcs Nemesis. If you're watching this on YouTube, y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That way, YouTube's algorithm can pick up this content and push it out to more people. Somebody liked it for you. That's how you were able to get it. So make sure you pay it forward and like it for somebody else. If you need a one-on-one session, make sure you check the link in the description. I am having a wisdom tooth pulled today, so I might be down a couple days as far as talking goes, but I'll be back at it in no time. So if you need a one-on-one, check the description. If you want to donate to the channel, you're more than welcome to. The link is in the description as well. Again, if you see somebody in the comments asking y'all for money, hey, send me this, about investment this, and any of that, that is a scam. Do not send these people no money, and they are affiliated with me in no way, shape, or form. So anyway, today we're going to talk about the discard again. And I covered this on several videos, but I want to kind of touch base with it again because, I got a lot of new subscribers, and some of y'all might not go back and watch the older videos. So it's just something for my newer subscribers, and then, the people who've been here since day one, it's nice to touch back on this information. But I always tell people that the discard itself is an illusion. It's not that the narc wants to discard you, it's because they have to. And there's many reasons why they discard you. For one, they discard you because maybe your potency as a supply has worn off. And what I mean by that, it's less fun, it's less exciting, it's less engaging to continue to manipulate you and, get supply off of you. And this has nothing to do with you because initially you're going to take this personally because you're going to feel like because this person doesn't find you exciting anymore, this person doesn't find you to be charismatic anymore. The habits that they did love in the beginning, they don't like them anymore. They despise them. This has nothing to do with you. This has everything to do with their ability to remain constant. Narcissists have a big problem with consistency. This is why I tell people, y'all think these people are off in the sunset and, living these spectacular lives with these other people that they traded you in for. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. Because, like I said, they lack the ability to be constant. So things might be going well for them over there for a week, 2 weeks, a couple months, or whatever the case is. But the inability to stay constant is always going to wreck a situation. I don't care who it is. It can be with you, it can be with Drake, Rihanna, whoever you want to name. They are going to mess that situation up because they cannot fucking control themselves. Um, you know, it's like a drug. Supply is like a drug to them. And, you can never get high like that first time you got high off the supply, which is the love bomb stage. So during the course of the relationship, the potency of your supply that you provide to them is wearing off. And again, it has nothing to do with you. Narcissists get bored really easily. They have a low tolerance for boredom. If you ever notice, if you're dealing with a narcissist, it's hard for them to keep still. They always got to be somewhere, they got to be with somebody, they always got to move around because they can't handle boredom. One of the reasons they can't handle boredom is 9 times out of 10 when you're bored, you're sitting alone or you're in your thoughts heavy because you don't have anything to occupy your mind. Narcissists have to have constant mental stimulation because their conscience starts eating away at them because of shit that they've done to people in the past. And it's not even just regarding you, it's people that they've met long before you. Because they run from situation to situation is not because, oh, well, you weren't good enough. No, they run from situation to situation because they're running from themselves. They're running from accountability. See, if accountability starts popping up and you run, you never have to face it. So that's their idea. And if you ever notice, a lot of them don't discard you because you're not, you don't live up to their standards or whatever the case is. A lot of them will discard you simply because you start confronting them. You start asking them questions. You start making them accept accountability. Like, hey, why'd you do this? Or what's wrong with you? Like, what's your problem? Or I don't like the way that you did this, that, and the third. They will discard you simply for that because you're reflecting them back to them. Because by you telling somebody you don't like the way that they did something, or you don't like their character, or whatever they got going on, that's a reflection to them that they're a shitty person. Remember, they always have to think in their mind that they're the best of the best. Their flaws don't exist. They're perfect. So when you reflect that back to them, it shatters that idea, and it compromises that false self that they created. So they got to get away from you, even if it's for just a little while. Some of them will ghost you um, when you do that. Case in point, when I was with the ex narc, just like when we first kind of started talking or whatever, and she used to always talk about her ex boyfriend. And I'm one of the guys, unless we're talking about some shit that he did to traumatize you and we're trying to fix it or whatever the case is, I'm not the guy that you talk to about your ex boyfriend all day. You got sisters, you got a mama, you got friends, homegirls, all that shit. You can run that to them. If I'm trying to start something new with you or whatever the case is, I don't want to talk about your exes 24 fucking 7. I don't. And that should be respected, and that's on both sides. Ladies, you can attest. You don't want to hear about nobody ex-girlfriend all fucking date or all conversation. No. So literally, she would go on and on about this guy. I'm talking about for 30 minutes, 40 minutes plus. And the only reason it lasted this long is because those of y'all that know, I drive trucks as well. So I'm on the road. So a lot of that time, I'm on the phone and I'm listening. I'm not like actively engaged in the conversation. I'm on the phone and I'm just listening to this shit. And some time goes by and I cut her off and I tell her the same thing I just told y'all. Hey, I don't want to hear about you. No disrespect, and I don't, go off or none of that. I say it in the tone that I'm talking now. Uh, no disrespect, but I don't want to hear about, your boyfriend the whole time, your ex-boyfriend for 30, 40 minutes going in and out. I say you have a mother, you have friends, you got cousins, you got homegirls, sisters, whatever it is. You can confide in them about that. You know what I'm saying? If that's something that you seem to not be over. And her response was, you're right. You're not the first person that's told me that. And see, we gotta start listening, because I heard her, but I wasn't listening. You're not the first person who's told me that. I do need to, let it go. And I forgot what she went into after that about him. I forgot the exact sentence that she said, but it mainly, to summarize it, somebody's told me about this behavior before. And 9 times out of 10, if you're not the first, you're not the second or third either. So if I would have stopped right there and broke that down, okay, you have a habit of bringing up exes. I can't stand that shit. Like I say, we can have a brief conversation and whatever, whatever, but we're not finna continuously every time we get on the phone talk about it. No, we're not finna do that. So, after that conversation, we had got off the phone and said, hey, I'm gonna call you back. My sister's calling or whatever. Cool. I didn't hear from her for like 2 days. Now, just me being me, I beat this shit. Cause like I said, I didn't know she was a narcissist until I left. So she disappeared for like 2 or 3 days. Um, and me, I'm not the guy that's finna chase you. If you disappear, your ass just disappear. We can David Blaine together. Like, If you feel like you want to disappear, if you feel like you want to get distant, if you feel like you want to ghost me and go talk to the other guy, be my fucking guest. But when you bring your ass back, it ain't, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be much to come back to. But anyway, she ghosted me for like 2 or 3 days. And hell, I proceed with my life. I'm like, shit, whenever she decide to pop back up, she'll pop back up. And, I'll deal with her from there. And she did pop back up. And the way that she did, I had bought her a big ass bear for Valentine's Day, probably about the same size as me. And she had sent me a picture of, I think, her nephew holding the bear. And, I opened it and I read it, and then I kind of left it alone and I went, about my business or whatever the case is. And I think the next day she actually called and she said that she seen me somewhere out here in Houston. It's a little city called Katy. Asked if I was over there or whatever the case. Mind you, I hadn't been over there. But that was her way of coming back in and saying, oh, well, I thought you would at least miss me or something like that. And my simple response was, I thought about you, but I wasn't, I'm not finna chase you. But I said that to say, you know, their little responses to little small shit that you'll do. And me telling her, about being respectful about not hearing about her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend or whatever, that wasn't, aggressive. That wasn't an insult. But to them, they take it as an insult because what you're doing is you're killing their triangulation. You're killing their attempt to make you jealous. You're killing their attempt to make you insecure. And I was doing this without even knowing. I'm just not that kind of I'm not finna, engage in that shit. And, her response was ghosting. So I said all that to say, those are some kind of responses that they'll do just by you confronting them about their behavior, just by you telling them, hey, you don't like something. They'll ghost you. And like I said, sometimes it's shorter or longer than others, but this is a tactic that they'll use. But like I said, a lot of y'all think that it's because you're not good enough. It has nothing to do with you. And I need you to get a hold of yourself and focus really quickly on what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with you. Because what'll happen is you take it so personally, and this is rightfully so. You take it so personally that you get stuck on asking why. And then when you ask why and you can't get any answers from them, you start creating your own fucking answers. And they're wrong. They're always wrong. Oh, well, maybe this, or well, maybe because of the childhood, maybe because of this, maybe I didn't do this enough, maybe I didn't do that enough, maybe if I would have went back and I wouldn't have said anything. If you ever get to a point where somebody convinces you not to stand up for yourself, you need to take a step back and you need to reevaluate yourself and you need to reevaluate your situation. Because a lot of people say, well, maybe if I wouldn't have confronted them, or maybe I am nagging, or maybe I do bring up stuff all the time. If they weren't doing shit, if they weren't lying, if they weren't disrespecting you, if they weren't gaslighting you, if they weren't triangulating you, you wouldn't have shit to bring up. So don't try to invalidate yourself and become accustomed to how they want you to be so you're easier to abuse. Because all it is them trying to make you feel guilty for not wanting to be fucking abused. So anytime somebody can convince you to not stand up for yourself and you have a valid, justifiable reason to stand up for yourself, you need to take a step back and you need to reevaluate yourself, your way of thinking, your mindset, and you need to definitely reevaluate your situation and the person that you're dealing with because that's a problem. When somebody can talk you out of your defense of yourself, and I'm not saying being defensive, I'm saying standing up for a wrongdoing that was done against you, then you have a problem. Because like I said, you'll try to compensate for them wanting to leave because you want them to stay so bad. Oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have stood up for myself. Maybe I should